Hey man, you ever look into flat earth?
Right near the water. I think I just knocked myself out of level. Let's see. Yeah, look at, oh, distorted. Let me tell you, the islands look a lot further away today too. That's just, with the naked eyes, usually they're really showing. And when I walk down here, I can usually tell how visibility is. Now, I'm going to try something too. I'm going to wind up stepping in the water. I'm going to look north or northward. Just going through weeds here. Even these islands are all out of whack. Yeah, look at that. And you can't focus on it. No matter what you do, you can't focus on it. Oh, the bugs are bad down here.
And then I kept going and going and going, and he was just like,
Gotta find the bait for it. Wow, that's crap. That's full zoom, but I can't get a focus on it. Look at that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go up on this deck. So let's give that a shot. See if it makes much difference. Okay, I laughed because I tried to put that little Matrix scene in there. Um, but I wanted to take this little bit of time right here to just explain how I see things. And the way I see it is the light, the angle of light coming down upon the water is reflecting off the water, which is causing a blockage. But on this particular day, because I had some filtering of the light coming through the clouds, I had distortion, but I was also seeing well beyond. And later on in here, um, this video, I'll show where the sun's light is reflecting off the water, and this will be the part that I'll use for a sneak preview into this video. So when you see that video, hopefully you'll remember um, these parts here of how I'm trying to show that things are revealed um, that are hidden by this light. Light is reflecting off the water. It's not refracting things up. It's reflecting off the water, which is actually hiding what's well beyond my line of sight. It's kind of hard to explain and put words to it, and I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of glow believers disagree with me, um, and say, "Oh, I don't know nothing about
refraction. I don't know nothing about, perspective and all of this stuff. But that's fine. I'm just putting this video out, and then I'm actually just going to document this whole observation because I think it's important. Plus, two, at the end of it, I'm going to put some pictures on that I took after I did all this videoing, pretty much after the sun went down. There's going to be some pictures that I enhance to reveal even more. Um, Also, too, I found when I take pictures and I download them, sometimes the picture does not show up like it should in my video. So I may take, what I might do is put them in my, into the converter and take a screenshot of each one of them and use that screenshot as the picture. Maybe it'll come out better because I noticed when I did some pictures that they didn't quite come out right. All right, and I'm gonna leave the rest of this pretty much the natural audio. There's one thing I will say about this video is I was still I call Cutter's Rock or Billy Steele's Cutter's Rock, and I still haven't realized that I had made that misidentification on that bird rack. I just want to bring that to your attention too. Later on, I do find out that I misidentified it, and I actually find it in this video, and I'll show it not only with pictures but with video.
Okay. Alright, this is about as good as I can get right now. I'm down here again, down by the water, below the seawall, down here by this weed. Look at this tree. Camera's on low setting here. And can't zoom all the way out because the focus is crap. Distortion City today. That's about as far out as I can zoom. And it's still right on the verge of being distorted. Look at the light diffraction and the distortion beyond. Alright, this is about as good as I can get right now. I'm down here again. Down by the water. Below the seawall. Down here by this weed. By this tree. Camera's on low setting here. And can't zoom all the way out because the focus is crap. Distortion City today. That's about as far out as I can zoom. And it's still right on the verge of being distorted. Look at the light diffraction and the distortion beyond. Can't zoom in on them, but you can see them. Oh, get out of here, bugs.
Alright, in my opinion, this light, angle of light, and this distortion all has to do with blocking out what we would normally see. But then again, sometimes this distortion, this filtered light that's coming through actually can cause us to see actually better line of sight. And later on, I'll show you why I say that in this video. All right. So just keep an eye out and keep watching if you want to learn.
That's the Bayport rack.
We said they're northerners.
We're northerners and we're like, no.
That's what all the northerners do. They play in the water and it's like, this is free. Pneumonia tomorrow.
Michigan.
Michigan?
Yeah, it was -11 when we left.
Oh, Lord. We're supposed to have 2 really warm days, and then it's supposed to get cold again. And then it'll snap out of its system.
Being precise together.
Be here for 2 weeks.
Till Saturday, so we'll probably see a couple of warm days.
I hope so.
Yeah. It's way warmer than Michigan.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We were at some place like that. We just came back from vacation. So it was like every day Pennsylvania to visit his friend or go to Italy or something. And he pulled up his head with his minus two. It was like, oh, that's just wrong.
It almost looks like it's combined with the cloud and it looks so much bigger in the photo.
This guy is serious. Sometimes it is, sometimes the sky is brighter.
Well, I can give you the code.
Yeah. No, I'm not going that far.
Okay, we'll turn around. And it's just the two bags. Okay?
Yeah, you can tell the water's not that high out there than you were in Tanya. Yeah. I might go walk up that far.
All right, in this video too, maybe not this part, but maybe the following part, you'll notice in some of the footage where it looks like the clouds are casting shadows upwards. It's the angle of perception too that plays a role, because the higher you would go up, of course you would see the sun because of your angle, right? You change your angle. Well, these shadows would also change too with your perception or your angular view of what is being casted. Those clouds are not being, the shadows not being casted upwards, they're being casted parallel. And that's another thing, that everything is a parallel line. Even the ones being casted down are not actually being casted down, they're being casted towards you. Again, it's your angle of perception, because if you was to change your angle or change your position, you would notice that these shadows are not going in the same direction that you might think they are. Same way with the light rays. They're going to change too, all depending on your height, your altitude. Um, everything has, it plays a role in it, and that's where you know, really, you got to think about it. You have to think outside of what these trolls or these globe people are going to come on and tell you, because they're the ones that say that the light's being, you know, the clouds are being lit up from underneath, when in fact, in my honest opinion, I believe that it's the light reflecting off the water well out in front of me that's reflecting back up. Another thing to take into consideration is when the sun goes behind all these clouds, why am I not casted into a big shadow myself? Why am I able to still continue to film and see light uh, happening well beyond this supposed sunset? Even when the sun supposedly sets over the curvature of Earth, shouldn't I be being casted in a shadow, a dark shadow? That's something to take into consideration. Also, you see how I work the compensation exposure to let more and less light into the camera. Well, it's the same thing. Angle of light, um, the amount of light that we're allowing into, you know, our eyes. So with our eyes, we do see this light continuing on, even though the sun has supposedly gone over the curvature of Earth. So there should be a big shadow being casted, but in fact, it's not. There's no shadow being casted. That's something to take into consideration and think about. Also, remember, I'm at a very low perspective. I'm at 28 inches with my tripod and camera. I don't need to put a video up showing that or my height on my camera. I've done it many times. I'm not going to add more time to this by showing that. You know, you don't even have to take my word for it, but it's pretty obvious I am very low to the water. As you can see, some of these weeds stick up higher than my camera. Okay, so I'm not going to waste my time doing that. All right, I'm just going to try to keep this with the natural audio as much as possible and just chime in every now and then when I have something to say or explain or give my opinion on.
So like the next 2 years, I started with Sean. Well, this is the first time I see sunset over the boat. The very first time. Oh, I don't know. So you got a picture? You guys do a picture.
Well, the razor's coming back, they said.
All right, as you watch this, you will see these sun rays beaming off of what? Beaming off the water, reflecting off the water. That is water out there, folks. And that's why you cannot, again, this light is bending, but it's bending on the reflection off of the water. It's not bending off the curvature. It's not pulling the curvature up from below the curvature, pulling it up, bringing it flat out in front of you. It just does not make sense that this would occur, especially as this sun is going behind this dark cloud. Supposedly, it's and that's just again, it's a matter of angular perspective. Uh, if I again was to rise up above that cloud, it would still be in front of me, but it would show that it's well beyond that cloud that's out there in front of me. So these light rays that are coming through here, these corpuscular rays, are reflecting off the water. It's not reflecting off the water that's behind the curvature. So yes, light does bend. There's no doubt about it, but it doesn't have the magical properties to pull things up from behind the curve and set them flat out in front of you. It has more of the properties to hide what's in front of you by reflecting. Too much light will blind you. Not enough light will blind you. If you're casted in the dark, you cannot see. If you're casted in too much light, you cannot see. But here with this filtered light, we're able to see much further. Look how far out that water goes. Right there, people, it's in plain sight. All you have to do is really look at it and see that this water is well above, uh, and people will say, well, you're showing a concave earth. No, what I'm saying is that everything drops perspectively. Everything gets smaller out there on the horizon due to perspective, and that's why these bird racks look so low, is because of perspective. But the water continues on and on out in a straight line from my line of sight, being able to see much further out there. So I don't see it as concave proof. I see it as flat and level proof. Look at it. It's flat and level. You have to take perspective into account when viewing. You have to. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a perspective. I mean, add telephone poles, or look down a street, a perfectly flat street. All these telephone poles will eventually go below your line of sight. So again, are they shorter than you, or are they still the same height at the very beginning of the first telephone pole you're looking at? Again, something to think about. Again, it's my opinion. Again, people may disagree with me, and of course, all the globe people are going to disagree with me, because this shatters the global belief. I want to add this. I did a video one time where I was using the virtual horizon on my camera and showing that where the virtual horizon would be, or level would be, was well above the Bayport bird rack. And right here confirms it for me. When I look at this, I say, wow, I can see water well beyond the above, which appears to be above this bird rack. But it's because of perspective that the bird rack looks small, and I'm able to see water well beyond it. So again, if you can go back and you find that video, which, man, I've made so many videos, I don't know which one it was, but I did do a video showing that it is above, the actual horizon is above these bird racks. So again, it's something to take into consideration and think about, folks. This is, again, it is my opinion, And my honest opinion, and I have all my opinions due to my observational research. I've done thousands and thousands of videos, and I'm just going by what I see and what I understand and how I see it. Um, People can disagree with me. That is fine. You're allowed to have your opinion. But again, here's your clouds being casted upward, which only appear to be going upward. Angular perspective.
They ought to move that sign. I agree. They call it the stupid sign, right? All it says is no swimming past this point. Hey, that's an idea. On a low tide?
It'd be funner on a high tide.
Well, you know, with this guy,
I didn't touch it. I didn't touch it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. We will
Just the shots.
dress her up and take her out. No, you can dress me up, but you can't take me out. That's the problem. See, it looks like the water's moving this way and that way and meeting like right there. Pretty.
Jeez, wish there was a little hole we could peek out of. A bigger one.
that's not what he's here for.
Busy over here too. This is kind of far away.
You see that bright light on
Stuff is in the grass.
With our jackets are utility house. Yeah. Oh yeah. I know, right?
All right, in this little part right here, I took 100% contrast, minus 100% on brightness, and a little bit of extra saturation, just to show you that this does go well beyond this boat. The horizon is further out there. And then I'm going to show you what the actual lighting will do with the next part of the video. It will be normal, natural. Okay, what I did in this little part here was I took all the brightness out and made it 100% or minus 100% brightness. All right, so I took a lot of that brightness out, and looky there. We can see much better and much further with this light being taken away. Now I'm going to be playing around with the brightness and the contrast and even the saturation a little bit throughout this video or throughout this presentation, because I'm going to just post this as one long observational video. I will link it into the little sneak preview that I make of the one part with the sun, shining on the water and reflecting off the water. That will be my little preview to this.
Look at that. You can't zoom in on it. It's all distortion.
Make sure nobody takes this truck. You left it up here. I'm doing something. Bring your truck up here, Gage.
Pretty sure that's Cutter's Rock.
I thought about it. I really did. I was like, I found my person. I'm your person. No, but like, find my person. Have you seen any dolphins or anything?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I usually came after.
Right over here, right? Maybe?
It never gets me.
Okay, don't forget prior to this that I had misidentified Cutter's Rock, and I will show you Cutter's Rock in this presentation and show that it is where it should be actually.
Going, Danny?
Anclo Power Plant, 27 miles away. Prospectively, the size that it should be, or maybe a little bit bigger, it could be stretched due to the fact that it is within this mirror. Now, one of these other things that I can say about my video is I found two other bird racks out there. One of them is Arapica, and the other one is Chassahowiska, which both of those are almost as far as Cutter's Rock. But at times they're revealed much better than at others. Um, this right here, I believe this is Bill Watts. And as I, pan through this, um, I'll be able to show you um, the other ones. And those are channel markers out there, I'm pretty sure. But if you watch some of my videos, I will be able to show you these different racks. But you have to keep in mind that it is the light that is blinding us, that is blocking our view from seeing what this video is actually revealing. So again, these are my opinions, and I don't have a problem with people having a difference of opinion. But you seen, I just passed something that was way up in the horizon, and it was visible. Now, too, you will also notice that sometimes I'll play around with the compensation exposure that the camera itself has, and I'm not doing anything right now. It's actually just the camera itself, using that compensation exposure setting on the camera. And sometimes I get it too dark and can't see nothing, but when I change my angle, again, you can see again. That's again changing the angle of light coming into the camera. Coming up here, you'll see the Hernando Beach rack, which this is one that I had been mistaken for Billy Steele's, and then mistaken Billy Steele's as Cutter's Rock. But you can see a boat well beyond it. If I was to turn up the light a little bit, hopefully you can still see it. It's just above the one bird rack, or the one channel marker there. Kind of to the left of the screen. You can see it further in the back. Actually, I'm going to turn the light up right here a little bit. All right, this part I slowed down 33% because you can see Billy Steele's rack right there flashing. Hard to see it, but it's there. And then I'm back to normal speed. This next part after this next transition will be an interesting part. I'm not going to mess with the compensation exposure or anything, or the light or the contrast. I'm just going to let it play because you can see some light changes that occur um, in the footage, and I want to leave that alone because it was natural light changing. It wasn't me playing with the exposure in the camera or anything. And I'm going to leave the natural audio up because I think I say something about it in there, which is pretty cool. And then toward the end of it, I do change the compensation exposure or something in there because I can see that the screen kind of goes a little bit darker. But that's what I'm going to be doing, is brightening up the screen when it does get darker. But you can see that the amount of time that the sun has already gone past its vanishing point, I'm still able to get light, even though this is a low light camera. So in turn, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, wow, this is pretty interesting because I see this light change um, with this low light camera, and it could be because if it's a low light camera. I'm not sure, but I thought it was pretty interesting footage. So I'm going to leave that up just as it is. All right.
Everybody else heard it? Uh-huh. They all heard it out of her little mouth.
Are you serious?
Yeah, very much so. Get rid of the man bun.
Well, I'm not messing with the lighting at all. Look at that.
Coco. Here. Good.
You would think because the sun has already supposedly gone over the curvature of Earth and behind all these clouds, that I would be cast into darkness right away. And that's why I think that there is another light source, or the source of light is reflecting off of something behind me, reflecting back, causing me to still have light to where I can see with my eyes, and with, of course, my camera, because I can still see light at this point with my naked eyes. It's pretty obvious.
I love my kids. No. But they're like, so that's what the birthday was like. Okay, I'm not gonna do this. I can love you. I can love you. You know what I like? Then I was like, okay, so not crazy. And then it's like, what can you do? What can you do? And it was my started jumping. Yes. Because you're like you're the caregiver and you're the what are my mom said you have to be a nurse to just hear that. I mean, so
More trouble sounding with that. And then you end up with a lot of the belly distortion Ready then.
remember that thinking, why would they have you back? I don't want to hear this side of your story. I want
And sundown.
Flop it. Twist it.
Even I fall. Hi, pumpkin. I see the child. You're high up there. Maybe back.
Okay, here's another piece that I slowed down because just to the right of this post that I go by, this is the sign that says no swimming. I know that Cutter's Rock, this is where I found Cutter's Rock in a later video that I do. Or actually, I found it in pictures actually first, and then I started, knowing where it was located. I was able to start filming it again. But I had actually been going right past it, and I've found it in several of my other videos, even prior to this. So again, I'm going to show you where it's at. It'll be coming up right here to the right in the screen, and you'll see it flashing out here. And this is Cutter's Rock. Right here, it's flashing. You see it, and I go right past it. And this is what I'd been doing all along, is passing this and not realizing that I was passing it because I had already thought I found it. So it was an honest mistake of misidentifying this rack.
No kids. Here, Kim. No, hold on here.
Grass.
Like every day.
Ow. No hit. No. There you go. Can I see it by size like a side by
She had a good nap. She's all ready to party. We're all like,
Oh, he's bringing up the rear. No camera, no, of course not.
uh-oh.
Going out to sea.
Oh my god. No, I'm not. Ruining the fun.
Rocks.
Wait, what are you talking about? I know, my feet are getting bigger and bigger.
They were tiny, very big. They're quiet. They're not flapping their wings, they're just sitting. And just
RV?
contemplating what they're going to do.
Okay, I increased the brightness in the video so I can show this part. This is the north rack. And of course, the light ain't flashing at this point. But that was the north rack. Pretty obvious to me because I know where it's at. So again, I just tried to present this the way that I see it. And what you see in the background too also helps where you're looking at where the sky and the water converge.
No, thank you. But thanks. All right, you two.
Wow.
Here comes the flash.
Okay.
All right, it's really bright.
Okay.
Oh, it's beautiful. Mary, you want me to take yours?
Yeah.
Sure, why not? Okay. I'm gonna do the flash first. Ready? Nice. All right, without the flash.
The birds are setting so quiet. They're not moving.
That way you're kind of in shadow.
Well, these lights aren't on. I don't know when they turn the lights
Yeah, I don't know when they turn them on either. When they come on, we're.
Again, I stop here at Cutter's Rock. I don't even realize that I'm catching it because, again, I misidentified it a long time ago. So, again, I just wanted to show people that I am seeing it, and here it is.
I took a couple of those. And there's dinner.
Oh, yeah.
All right. All right. All right. How about one more? Or we'll be together.
Okay, scoot over a little bit.
Yeah, I know. Oh my goodness. Heaven forbid. All right. It's gonna flash.
Okay.
Up. All right. Now I'm gonna do one without.
Okay.
I know.
Smile.
Yeah, exactly. Smile.
You never smile.
Like a bird that into
Yeah,
that.
smile. Smile, you're not smiling. Take that toothpick
No,
out.
he's good. Oh, there. Yep.
He says you can't take pictures when it gets dark.
That's right. Purple.
That's not a cold over there. That's like.
Would you guys mind taking our picture?
Oh.
Jay hates this, but
Yeah.
Oh, no, not at all.
I appreciate that. Thank you guys.
We've
My
been
best
doing
friend
this,
from
asking
Chicago,
people
so
this.
we're not.
I think she's got to get a little closer.
All day we've been asking people to take pictures. They think we're
I
together.
think we're a couple.
And then the other way, like, nope, no, not best friends. Hey, you know what? Those are the kind of friends to have. Oh, yep. I'm not getting.
Oh, it didn't flash.
No, hers doesn't flash, but you know what? I got the one with your ring on. I know. That's the genuine one, yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
From Chicago.
Hiya.
You are? Yeah. We're from Indy.
Oh, okay. I used to work in South Bend, Indiana.
Huh?
I used to work in South Bend, Indiana.
You did, huh?
Where are you from in Indiana?
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis? Wow. Big city. Big city.
Yeah.
You live here now?
We came from a little town. I grew up in a little town. You could count the houses, maybe 20 houses.
It's a beach, but it's not really a beach.
Well, here, Frank.
And this right here is a real Billy Steele's rack because it's just to the left of the Bayport rack, Bayport entrance rack. And then the next one up will be the Hernando Beach rack, flashing right there. Sorry, I left the audio on. I'll delete that. And then as I pan to my left, I should be coming across Bill Watts. And Bill Watts, I don't believe the light's on it yet. Because I think I just passed it. Up. And there is, to the right of the flashing right light there, that's the halfway mark. One of those lights that are flashing there is the Hernando Beach channel, or the Arapica channel marker, which is pretty odd because that's almost as far away as Cutter's Rock is, but I'm obviously catching it. And I have some pictures to go along with this that might help shed a little more light on it. Some of them are long exposures, and I'm going to try to present them in here too. So give me a little bit to get them ready, and I'll see what I can do. Alright, I'm going to share some pictures. Got some music coming on with it. Feel free to pause it at any time you like.